I haven't done a sales and business update for pretty much 3 months now. There's been a couple reasons for that, but I've just been super busy. But I'm excited to give you guys a quick update. First, starting with sales. So the last time I did a sales report, that was in January, 3 months ago. Since that time, our monthly reoccurring revenue has increased by $10,000. So we're now coming in about $43,000 a month. We also broke $500,000 on an annual basis for the first time ever. So that's huge. That's a huge milestone for us. And we're pretty much on track for the goal of hitting $1 million within 12 months. So I set that goal out in September of last year, and we now have 5 more months to basically double the business again, which I think is doable, assuming that we continue to grow at about 10% month over month compounded. Over the past 3 months, we also had some big hires. So I hired another sales rep, 2 customer success managers, a marketing manager, and another developer. So that brings the whole team now to 13 people, including myself. And the business is definitely going through kind of a transitional phase right now. Every role is now pretty much handled by somebody else. So my role is much more of a teacher and a coach, ensuring that everyone else is on the team kind of meeting my very high standard and expectations. Next, I wanted to give you guys an update on some pretty interesting pricing and subscription changes that we've been experimenting with. We used to have a 14-day trial for the software product. We removed the trial for a while. Now we have back a 7-day trial. We used to have 4 pricing plans. Now we only have 2 pricing plans. We used to have monthly payment options. Now we pretty much do not have any monthly payment options. As you can tell, this is pretty tricky to kind of figure out what is working, what's not working, what needs to stay, what's having impact. And I give you this example just because this is what it's like to be in the trenches of an entrepreneurial startup. And the object of this is to run these types of experiments through every single department across the company. And the point of it is to find optimizations and efficiencies that continue to lead to growth. Next thing I want to talk about are the tariffs. Now, I'm trying not to get political here, but I can tell you that as a software business, I wasn't directly impacted by the tariffs. However, indirectly, I was. And the reason for that is at the beginning of April, the tariffs scare, if you want to call it, creates uncertainty in the market. And when the market is uncertain, they stop buying. And that's exactly what kind of happened with us. So we were closing deals, every other day, every third day. And then the tariff scare happens and pretty much sales stop for 2 to 3 weeks. So this is obviously a very hard thing to stomach, especially when you're hiring and you're expecting growth. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because as a startup or as a business owner, you want stable market conditions. And that is really what the job of the government should be out to do, is to create stability so that the private sector can then go on and thrive. Luckily, because of the market, aka people can directly vote with their dollars, it seems that we're kind of through this scare. But for a couple weeks there was uncertainty. And trust me, you don't want to deal with uncertainty on top of everything else that you have to deal with while you're building a startup. Last but not least, I was asked to speak at an event in San Diego about entrepreneurship, share my story, and kind of give my cheat code on what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. I really enjoyed that event and being able to share my story. So that pretty much wraps up the February, March, April update. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions or comments below, and make sure you follow along to get future updates, because I'm going to try to come out with them more often for you. Peace.